Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the 10 Talk Show. I'm your host, Muhammad Ali, and in this episode, guys, we have a lot to unpack. And for some stuff, quite literally, because I have over here with me the official FIFA World Cup 2026 match ball, the Trionda. I got it right here. We're going to unbox it in this video. We're also going to talk about some other news regarding the World Cup coming up. Besides that, you know how it goes. Premier League match week 7 fixtures and results. We're going to look at the results from the weekend as well as the fantasy Premier League points review for match week 7. I'm not going to lie, I did not have a very good match week 7, guys, in the fantasy. I'm not going to lie, but we're going to talk about that as well as we're going to touch a very important subject that broke this week, which is the merger or the proposed merger of the European Super League and the UEFA Champions League one more time, one final time to be exact. We're going to talk about all of this in this new episode, guys. So welcome back to the 10 Talk Show. All right. So without further ado, it is time to bring in the beautiful, the very vibrant looking Trionda match ball of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Look at it, guys. I mean, first impression, I'm not gonna lie, the feel of this ball in my hands is just amazing. I mean, the grip factor is awesome. I think the keepers are gonna love this ball when it comes to the grip factor of it. Obviously, I don't know how the aerodynamics are and all. Shout out to the Jabulani for that from the 2010 World Cup. But if you look, if you take a closer look at it, there are 3 logos, 3D embossed all over this ball. The Star of the United States, the Eagle for Mexico, and the Maple Leaf of Canada embossed all over these 4 panels that are thermally attached over this ball. And it just gives this ball an amazing groovy feel. And I love it. The feel of the ball between my hands is just fantastic, and I feel like it's going to be just as good to play with. In addition to that, I mean, the colorway, you can just look at it and see the 3 host nations on this ball. I mean, you can see the United States, you can see the Canada, you can see the Mexico on this ball, and that's why Adidas has done a very good job in doing that type of representation for this new ball. Would love to see what the final edition of the ball is going to be when that gold is going to be incorporated for the final. Obviously, that's going to be released later, but we're going to bring it to you guys as always. In addition to that, $185. That's the price. Yes, that's a big one right there. And one of the reasons, or probably the main reason for that cost for the Pro Ball, obviously, is the AI powered chip that is in this very ball. I'm not lying. Yes, there's a AI-powered chip with an accelerometer as well as a gyroscope in the ball so that every touch, every interaction that is made with this ball will be recorded in some way or form, and that information can be used in various ways. It's going to be a lot better in helping out with the officiating, so goal line technology, offsides, all that information should be a lot more accurate with this new ball and this new technology that goes in it. In addition to that, it's just a beautiful ball. I mean, just look at it. It's can't wait to, go around the field and kick it around. But the new Trionda 2026 for the 2026 World Cup, I think it's a beautiful job done by Adidas. Obviously, the ball is made in Pakistan, in Sialkot. Just by the way, because Pakistan obviously has nothing to do with the World Cups, but has everything to do with the balls that are used in each and every World Cup for the past 3 years, including this one now. The balls for the FIFA World Cup have been provided by Pakistan city of Sialkot specifically, and they do a great job with it. Champions League balls, MLS, La Liga, Serie A. I think around 70 to 80% of the official match balls are produced in Pakistan. So shout out Pakistan as well. Big up right there. We're going to move on from the ball and we're going to talk about the mascots. So the mascots, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big mascots guy. I get the hype, but I'm not a big mascots guy. But for this new World Cup, I liked what they did each country gets their own mascot. That representation factor makes it a little better. And you can see for Canada, you got the moose, you got the jaguar for Mexico, and I'm not gonna lie, Clutch, the bald eagle of the United States. That, I think, for me, it's easily the best mascot out of the three. I think the Maple is the name for Canada's mascot. Yeah, I think it's Maple, Zayu for the Mexico, and Clutch for America's mascot, the bald eagle. I love it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Good job done by FIFA in terms of bringing that in, because the mascot culture among fans apparently is huge, and I like them. I like them. In terms of teams playing in the World Cup, just wanted to give you guys a reminder: the 2026 World Cup is gonna have 48 teams playing. Yes, this is the biggest World Cup in the history of the FIFA World Cups. 48 teams are going to be participating, hence the three countries really make sense, to be honest, because the amount of games have just increased by a great number. And that's a big news. I think a lot of people still haven't really remembered that, or have that in their mind, that this World Cup is going to have that 48 teams in it, instead of the 32 teams that are usually in a FIFA World Cup. And people are not stopping there, because the news is coming that from South American football federations, there's a request, or there's a demand to push for a 68 or 64 team World Cup for 2030. So they want to increase the teams even more. And obviously more teams, this has nothing to do with football, like football itself. You could say that, you want to give more countries a chance and this and that. It's all about the money, guys. The more games, the more TV coverage there is, brands and all this and that, sponsorships, endorsements. The more games they will play, the more money they will get paid. And they're really pushing for it. But up till now, there's no confirmation on that. But I won't be surprised if they go on to increase the teams from 48 to 64 and somehow still not be happy. But another important thing that I think would be worth sharing for this World Cup, I have talked about it before in my shorts videos that I've shared over the time, is that this is going to be one of the most expensive World Cups in the history of World Cups. And obviously America being a big part of that, but not only that, there's other factors too. Obviously, inflation all over the world is just terrible right now, but let's just do a quick price comparison between the Qatar group matches costs and the group matches costs here for the 26 World Cup. And we're going to do only group matches. We're not going to go, into much more details, that just to give you an idea of what we're working with here right now. So there are usually 4 categories of a ticket for a game. So category 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 being the lowest, 1 being the highest. That would incorporate a closer or better seat, which, hospitality or no hospitality, but like the quality of the seat, the view, all that type of stuff is decided in between these categories. Category 4 in the Qatar World Cup, $11. I'm not kidding. $11, I can't even get a Whataburger out there. So $11, category 4. Category 3, $69. I would pay that all day, every day, if I have to pay that price for World Cup tickets. $165 for category 2. You're probably in the lower tiers now. You're probably, getting one of the best views of the stadiums in category 2. $165 for that. And then for category 1, probably the best seats in the house, the best sort of side of the stadium to watch the game, all that for $220 in Qatar 2022. And in America, category 4 costs from $11 all the way to $100 Category 3, which was $69 in 2022, is now a minimum of $150. For category 2, $430. That's like 3 times the price somehow. Like $430 for a category 2 ticket, and for category 1, $575 for a group stage match of the FIFA World Cup. I'm not going to lie, FIFA, I'm not sure if this is going to work out. I mean, FIFA World Cup, the whole world is going to come, and it's in America. I'm sure a lot of people would love to come to America, and the World Cup will be an amazing excuse to do that. But the costs affiliated with this whole thing. Now, people haven't even talked about the Ubers and the hotel rooms and the lack of public transport in America and some American cities, which people, when they're going to come here, are going to realize that this one's going to cost them. And yeah, I think up till now, FIFA hasn't really addressed this issue. I don't know if they can really address this issue. I don't know what they can really do about it, because obviously you could say that they could lower the prices and all that, but the whole package of North America is going to be expensive. Like everything that it involves, food, lodging, transport, all this type of stuff is going to be very much more expensive than what people got in Qatar and probably what they got in Russia as well in 2018. And mentioning Russia, I think it's important to mention that this 48-team tournament, and Russia is not allowed to participate because of their activities in Ukraine. Obviously, I'm talking about the war and the political activities that come with it. And at the same time, Israel, on the other hand, has not been given any ban, at least yet, for the World Cup, despite their controversial and very dangerous war and political activities in the last 2 years. So you have that. And finally, to end it on a little lighter note, because, well, I guess lighter for us, because Del Piero probably is losing his shit right now, because he leaked, I think probably he was at some promotional stuff for Adidas for the World Cup, where, all the kits that are unreleased, unseen, nobody has seen anything, the concept for the 2026 World Cup. Every World Cup, the concept of the kit changes a little, the design methodology changes a little, and Del Piero took a casual snap on his phone and just posted it on his story. Simple as that. He just, he was walking by. He's like, oh, the new World Cup kits. Let me share that with the people. Deletes it after 2 minutes, I think. But everybody, gets a good look at some of the kits. It's obviously only the Adidas kits were there, but we get to see champions Argentina and their jerseys, home and away both. And, a lot of others as well, all lined up in one line. So kudos to Del Piero. We would take that. So that was the news regarding the World Cup and everything surrounding it. I'm not going to lie. Let me know what you guys think of the new Trionda ball, rated out of 10. I would love to know. And after that, I think it's time that we move on to the Premier League. Obviously, now we're headed into a 2-week international breaks. I'm sure everybody else does too. I hate the international break, and we're heading into a long one. But it's time to review the results from match week 7, starting with Bournemouth and Fulham. Why are we talking about Bournemouth? Because Bournemouth are really doing it. 3-1 against Fulham. I think they're at 3rd place now. Let me just confirm that real quick. Dropped down to 4th, but still Bournemouth losing all their star defense this summer. Doesn't matter. Their attack is still very, very good. Antoine Semenyo, just a fantastic player. 2 goals and assist, I think, in this game against Fulham. Great start for them. Leeds were beaten by Spurs. Arsenal 2-0, still only have conceded 1 goal from open play this entire season. And keeping the clean sheets together, the Arsenal defense is, destined maybe to take them all the way this season, if not their attack. But the biggest news of the night is that Manchester United have won a game, guys. Wow, Manchester United have beaten Sunderland. And Sunderland, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Sunderland have been in really good form since they came in the Premier League this season. I think Sunderland, just wanted to tell you guys, spent maybe over 100 million this summer, just by the way. And they were in good form, but beaten by Man United. I will, good for Man United, I guess. But the result that really shaped the table, guys, Liverpool's luck has run out. Arne Slot's luck has run out. I think that's 3 straight defeats now. 2-1 loss to Chelsea, and that allows Arsenal to go top of the Premier League. Wow. I mean, I'm not going to lie. As an Arsenal fan, the pressure is just immense on us, delivering this season. And just to see the team, obviously, we had some tough games going on, and we're 5 points behind Liverpool, I think, just 2 weeks ago. And now to be on top of the Premier League just feels good. And now it just that feeling that, yes, we have to build on this. We have to continue and make a very dominant. Just seeing Arsenal on number 1 right now just feels a little different, more different than it has ever been before. So we obviously got that. Aston Villa beat 2-1 Burnley. Everton beats 2-1 Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace's unbeaten run comes to an end finally as well. I think that was 19 games unbeaten. Only 1 invincibles. We already know that. Newcastle beat Tottenham. Brighton draw Wolves. And Brentford, after last week, I think they hosted Man United. This week, they hosted Man City. Man City walked away with a 1-0 victory. Hard-fought win, but at the end, 3 points is all that matters, and that's what Pep Guardiola got for his team. And obviously, if you are on Fantasy Premier League, the average point for the game week 7 has been 60 points, and I got 58. If your points are less than the average points, know that you've not had a very good week. And I did not. What that led to is to me going down all the way in a lot of the leagues. And obviously one of the main leagues that I'm in now, I've dropped down to 2nd place. One of my friends obviously scoring 84 points this game week. I don't even know how they got 84 points. I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously in my team, I had Kelleher, Gabriel giving me 9 points. Van der Ven, again, not really good. Marcus Gay with a 3. I brought in Alderete of Sunderland. I thought Man United, hey, he might have a great game. 0 points from him after conceding 2 goals and a yellow card. Mo Salah, probably next week, guys, when I'll be doing the team or the FPL points review. Mo Salah might not be in this team anymore because another 2-point week from him. He's one of the main reasons why I have not been able to build on my lead. To Johnny Reinders as well, 3 points from him, but for the cost that he offers, 5.5 million, is just too good. Eberechi Eze, 6 points again, another assist for Eze. He's been consistent. I'm not going to lie. He comes in, he gets an assist. He comes in, gets an assist. I think he can definitely do a lot more in the game, but, he's doing a good job as a player of a new team. I think he's doing very well. Here's where I messed up. Antoine Semenyo, vice captain for me in game week 7. I was this close to putting him in as captain. If I'd put Semenyo as captain, I wouldn't have been upset at all. I would have had a great game week 7 and I would have maintained my lead. I kept him as vice captain, and Erling Haaland and Victor Gyökeres were my strikers, and I captained Victor Gyökeres because I'm an Arsenal fan. Not because West Ham are absolutely terrible, not because I thought that we were actually going to batter them like 4-5-0 and that Gyökeres would definitely get a brace this game, but it's because I'm an Arsenal fan and I wanted to captain Gyökeres. And he let me down with another 2-point performance, giving me total 4 points, 58 in the game week 7. And now I am behind almost 19 points. A guy that I was leading last week is now 19 points ahead of me. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Yeah, I can't have that. I have to come 2-week international break now. We have to really think about it. But another thing to think about is that Arsenal have been deemed favorites, and it's not me. It's definitely not me, even though I think so too. But it's definitely not me. Based on bookies and stats and supercomputers and AI and all these informations that we put together to get an idea, all these things have now put out Arsenal not only as a favorite for the Premier League, but a favorite for the Champions League as well. Now, already Premier League, being termed as Premier League favorites, a lot of factors go into it. One has to be our squad. We have a very well-packed squad. 3 players can go out, 3 players can replace them. Obviously, this hasn't been the case for a long, long time. But also the reputation, the expectation that comes with Arsenal this season. They are expected to win. The squad has been prepared with the ambition of winning big titles, and that's why Arsenal have been deemed as favorites for both the Champions League and the Premier League. Rival fans will have their fun with this information, but if we deliver, man, I'm telling you, if we deliver, they call us the toxic fan base already. If we deliver, we'll tell you what a toxic fan base really is like. But I'm not going to dwell on this any longer because we have a very important news to touch. Super League and UEFA Champions League merger. One final shot from Real Madrid, Barcelona, and that entire consortium that wanted a new European Super League. Now, again, before we go into this, we talked about the World Cups increasing teams. We're talking about this. This has zero impact on football, on the quality of the game, on the quality of the experience. All of that has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's purely commercial. It's purely for making the big bucks, like the really big bucks, and then also a major monopoly on those big bucks. Obviously, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're not going to share the pie with everybody since they have been the ones that have really taken this charge. What we know now is that this proposal again was made to UEFA, and this was all done very secretly, very discreetly, so that the news doesn't break out and the fans don't protest and all this and that. But these conversations took place. Now, they were along the lines that the Champions League will remain the Champions League. The number of teams of 36 will remain 36. Here's the things that would be changing. 18 teams from UEFA coefficient scores, the top 18 will only play each other in the 8 league games phase. And the bottom 18 are only going to play each other during the 8 games league phase. Now, you would say that this is pretty balanced. This is very nice. I mean, the top teams play each other, the lower teams sort of play each other, and everybody gets a fair route. Now, first of all, this is the Champions League. This is not, who's better than who. I mean, this is the Champions League. So sometimes you got to face a big team. Sometimes you got to face a little smaller team. That's how it goes. Sometimes you go to a really small ground. Sometimes you go to a big 100,000 arena. But this proposal, what it does is that it guarantees top 18 teams of UEFA to face each other in 8 games. That means that every year we'll be seeing Real Madrid, Barcelona going against Arsenal, United. United in the Champions League. I can't believe I said that. What it basically means is that you get to see an Arsenal versus Real Madrid game basically every year. And I don't think people want that. I mean, the Arsenal versus Real Madrid game was so big. And sure, it happened after 20 years, which is a little too much. Let's not lie there. But there was this anticipation that these two European teams are about to face each other. Two very different European pedigrees are about to face each other. And there was this build-up and there was this anticipation. But now all these teams, if they face each other in these boring 8-game league phase, which has basically no significance besides, getting to the round of 16 without an extra game. That's what their significance is. It's going to take the spark out of the game. It already has. We already see the group phase games the league phase games to be very dull, very boring, very small, very minimum. And, but the proposal is to make it more balanced. And let me tell you, this balance thing is also a little fake. Why? Because when the top 18 teams face each other, and obviously that means that a great number of those teams will not qualify for the next round. Now, the 8 from the top 18 and then the 8 from the bottom 18, when they come together, the top teams are going to have a go at all the smaller teams. So that means that, sure, you might have given them a better chance to make it to the knockout stages, but to actually have any chance in the competition, they're not giving that. They're giving that to the bigger teams, because the bigger teams are going to eat the freaking small teams that come through. And what they've actually proposed to them is that you get the big money. If you play the 8 games that we're telling you to play against small teams, there's a greater chance for you guys to make the round of 16. And that way your small club is going to make big knockout level money. Again, it's all about the money and nothing about, reducing the amounts of games. Why? Because that's what the players and ex-players and future players and all these people are saying, that we need to play a little less. We are playing too many games. There's too much football going on. It's hard to keep up with, the nations leagues and the qualifying leagues and the international breaks, the friendlies, and then now we have these league phase in the Champions League, and then the extra tiered round of 16, all this type of stuff. Nobody can keep up with it anymore. People want a bit more simple format, and simple formats only make simple money, and they're trying to make the big bucks so that, teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and, other European giants, probably including Premier League teams too, can get a big share of the pie. Here's where they come in a little smart though, because we're talking about money, we're talking about that, but rather than selling broadcasting rights to third-party networks, matches might air via UEFA/Super European League controlled streaming platform. Yes, you've heard me right. And I think the name that has been proposed is Unify, to sort of unify everybody around this idea, with the free version with, ads, and then premium version without ads. And this idea is basically to cut out the middlemen, cut out the networks, the TV channels, and try to lower consumer costs in terms of watching the games live on television. The subscription either is going to be free or is going to be very cheap. That's the idea that that the European Super League is sort of proposing, and the clubs are thinking that they can get direct share of those subscription monies and this broadcasting money, essentially, which it would have been. But 2027, I think, is the proposed date for this tournament to be incorporated, or this Champions League to be updated in. The brand stays the same. The UEFA brand, the Champions League brand stays the same. Does the trophy stay the same? I don't know about that. I would love to know if the trophy stays the same as well. But this could be a huge change. And again, we've talked about so many things about this idea. Not one of them makes the game better in any way. Like, it does not improve the quality of the games. It does not improve the quality of the tournament, which is already a quality tournament. So it's just a bunch of billionaires trying to figure out how they can make tens and hundreds of billions more. And that's exactly what they're going for. The players probably are going to get a little bit more money through their contracts and all that, but they're going to be made to play 70, 80 games a year now. And you'll be able to see that the quality is just not going to be there. Like, these players would give you maybe good 30, 40 minutes out of the 90-minute match. And that's not what you want. You want to see 80 minutes of high intensity, high pace, high stakes in these games, and they just keep on lowering the stakes, lowering the intensity, and just making it not that much fun. But that's what it's that's the big news that has been going around this week. Let me know what you guys think about that in particular. I would love to know if you care about the Super League sort of format. If you don't care, would you care? Do you think it could improve in any ways? I would love to know. Now, before we end the video, guys, maybe on a lighter note, maybe, I will do the VAR weekend reviews, probably coming in a couple of days after this video, separate video where we'll review all the controversial decisions from the past week. Now, PGMOL and Liverpool have a relationship of some sorts, one could say, a lot of people say, but obviously there's not much to sort of see where this comes from, because if anything, the Scousers are not that, fond of the English people, and the English people are not that fond of Scousers. So that's what I think, at least. Like, that's what the sort of narrative is, that the Scousers have this sort of thing against things. So, where is this support coming from Liverpool, PGMOL and all this? And I might have something for you guys. I don't know how I missed this when I saw this the first time, but it's been roughly a month. But FBI Director Kash Patel in a congressional meeting was seen wearing a Liverpool tie. Now, again, this guy is testifying, I think, in front of Congress, and he has a red and golden Liverpool tie underneath that suit. And all I'm thinking is that these PGMOL referees before the game go into the game and they get a text from Cash saying that, hey, Epstein might not be on those Epstein files, but I know you guys can be on it if I don't see penalties or red cards in Liverpool's favor. And, we've been seeing, obviously, Kash Patel has been in power, or his administration has been in power since January. And Liverpool, obviously, were delivered a title during that time. Am I reaching? Definitely am. But that was definitely funny to look at. In the middle of a congressional meeting, the FBI director has the Liverpool tie on. He's definitely using the Epstein files to He's definitely using the Epstein files to blackmail these PGMOL referees, and we need to protect them, guys. We need to protect them from Kash Patel.